Representing current County Commission Chair David Gantt is the Secretary of Precinct 59.1 Reeves Creek, Nehis Nelson. Retired. I don't believe that for a minute. I think you're retired for a minute.
I am.
What are you retired?
Yes, secretary for 8 years and recently retired so I could maintain my chief judge's job in our precinct. Well, David is not here. I'm not David Gantt. How many times has he stood up here and talked to you during these luncheons? I can't count. I told him the other day that I actually have more pictures of him during the 2008 election than I do of my dogs. He gets around. And today, he chose to make a very important decision. Instead of talking to people who are in his own party, in his own camp, he is meeting today with one of our new businesses, Linamar. He was asked to speak with them today, and he chose to represent our county at that luncheon, speaking for the good people of Buncombe County, welcoming this Canadian company to our area to bring jobs, to bring additional money to our area, and to bring new people. And so that's where he is. He sends his regrets. I'm sure you all know that given a chance to speak with you, he would always like to be up here. With props, I almost was going to bring one of those rubber chickens to say, you know, this is David, I'm David Gantt's representative. I have no props. What I do have, though, first of all, is a website. For questions that I can't answer today, David's website is excellent. He keeps it very up to date. He has summaries of every commissioners meeting on that website. That's www.gantt, make sure I get it right, ganttforbuncombe.org. And so things that I can't address today, I'll be very honest with you. And things that you choose to look or talk to him directly, you can email the website and he can give you answers too. Since I do volunteer for his candidacy this year, I have been following him around. And so I hear his message to different groups. I heard his message just last week to the North Carolina Education Association. We had a room full of teachers, and he talked about how Buncombe County supports public education. But each time he gets in front of people from the county, what he brings home is this message. David has been on the commission for 12 years. During that 12 years, there has been an enormous amount of change that Dr. Bird has alluded to in his comments. Things, we're in this transition period, whatever you want to call it. It's a great time when things are changing. And when David first got to that job, what he saw was that there was more change that had to happen. And I believe that those of you who have lived here for the last 12 years know that a lot of change has taken place. And he was in the back of the room, nitpicking at people. We've got to do this, we've got to do that. He talked about zoning, he talked about laws on steep slopes, he talked about education, he talked about health care. And those are the things that if he were standing here today, he would go back to. First of all, jobs. If anybody knows the importance of the economy of Buncombe County, it's David Gantt. And my personal experience is on this level. I sit on the Buncombe County Land Conservation Advisory Board. My passion is to protect property here in Buncombe County in western North Carolina. He is one of our strongest proponents. He is one of the people who knows the importance of taking care of our open spaces and especially our water. Because guess what, folks? If we don't have water, we don't have anything. There's nothing that's going to bring people to this area if we don't have water. He is above and beyond supporting what the people do to protect open spaces in this county. Now, what does that bring? It brings jobs. We saw it in the case of Linamar. We saw it in the case of Sierra Nevada Beer. We see it in terms of other people who come to this area, and that is, today's generation is not looking where the jobs are and moving to the jobs. Today what people are doing is saying, where do I want to live, if I can, and what jobs are there for me? That's a great difference in people's attitude. And And right now, if I did use a prop, what I would bring is the Citizen Times classified sections for jobs. If any of you have looked at it lately, it's about 3 columns long and it has a picture of a Cavalier dog on it. You know, that's about where our jobs are right now in terms of Buncombe County. He wants to continue to see that grow. He wants to have more jobs come to this area, bringing benefits and bringing people to this area that'll support our economy. So land conservation, which is my passion, is his passion. One of the other things he would talk to you about is education. When he did speak with those teachers the other night, he gave us a few figures that the NCEA told us about, and that is that out of the 50 states in the Union, North Carolina is number 49 in terms of how much money goes to each student. And he played this little game. I can't remember whether he did this with any of you, but if you know the answer,
Utah.
Although number 50, everybody guesses Mississippi, but I have to throw in a real clinker. Talking to teachers the other night, he changed it from Utah to Arizona. Now go figure. But all I can say is that he makes the point that Buncombe County gives more money to the Asheville City school system than the state of North Carolina. And that is really a crime. The teachers felt that way, the people that were there from our school board felt the same way too. He wants to continue supporting the education of our young people. He was definitely a supporter of the AB tax, and he feels that our community college is a great asset to this county. The other thing he talked about is health care. Here in the city of Asheville, he would talk most directly about the new facility at 40 Cox. And that's a facility for taking care of both social needs and mental needs and financial needs of those people who need help in the city and have nowhere else to go. But he's also concerned about health care in the county. And that's one subject that I'm not deeply steeped in that, and so I'm just going to pass over that and say, if you have questions or you have comments to give him on health care, I would really suggest you talk with him directly. Last, energy. And energy is important because just before I left my office, I pulled this offline. This is the article in the Citizen Times today. This is the article about our landfill. And David's been talking about this landfill for a long time, and I'm finally reading what I only get in sound bites from him. And basically, we are one of 2 facilities in the United States that recycles back into the ground our landfill trash. And we are making electricity with that, and we are selling an electricity, and according to this article, we're bringing $600,000 a year back into the county from this endeavor. So this is something on the leading edge of energy efficiency. He also is a great supporter of green business, and he knows that we'll bring more jobs here as people know that they can get education here, they can get jobs here, and that people who want to be involved in green energy, this is definitely a place to live. Another report in the newspaper today, which is a little misleading, and that was a report about how we were number 14th in the state the state of counties in terms of local food, accessibility to food for the people here in Buncombe County. If you read the article closely, even the people who did the study, they did it, that this was really not a true situation here because people in Buncombe County get their food other places besides large grocery stores. And this is the only way that they check, is who has access to an Ingles or a Bio or a food market. They didn't take into consideration the number of local farmers markets we have, the number of people who grow their own food, and so the numbers are a little bit misleading if any of you see that article. But basically, I'll say this about working for David. He's a good man. He cares for this county. He cares for the people. He cares for the well-being of the people in this county. And he has fun doing it. He really feels honestly about this is where he wants to be. He's not a transitional kind of guy. So he'll ask for your vote. I ask for your vote. And what I'm coining to remind you of this fact, when people go to the polls, In the primary, we want your vote for David Gantt. And if he's representing you in November, he wants your vote plus 2 for the districts. So it's Gantt plus 2. And if you could please tell people in your precincts, tell people you talk to so there's no confusion. He is running countywide. So it's Gantt plus 2. Thank you very much.